अमरी कबरी भार भ्रमरी मुखरी कृतं दूरी करोतु दुरितं गौरी चरणपङ्कजम् इदं च रङ्गं त्यजतामिहाङ्गं न विद्यतेऽङ्गं यदि वास्तु चाङ्गं पाणौ रथाङ्गं शयने भुजङ्गं याने विहङ्गं चरणे च गाङ्गं कावेरी तटशोभिरङ्गनगर प्राग्भागजम्बूतरु प्रान्तोद्यन्मणिसद्मनिस्थितमधः जम्बूतरोस्थायिनः लूते भार्चितरङ्गनाथवरदं भक्त्याखिलाण्डेश्वरी पूजानिर्मितसज्जलाकृतिधरं श्रीजम्बुनाथं भजे। ऊर्ध्वस्थिताभ्यां करपङ्कजाभ्यां गाङ्गेयपद्मे दधतीमधस्तात् वराभये सन्दधतीं कराभ्यां नमामि देवीम् अखिलाण्डपूर्वां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। श्रीमत्क्षीरतरङ्गिणी तटगते पुण्ये विरिञ्चेः पुरे नित्यं सन्निहितं किला कलयितुं क्षीराभिषेकादरं श्रीगारुत्मतवल्लिकासहचरं मार्गे सहायं नृणां श्रीमद्दीक्षितविप्रदैवतवरं सञ्चिन्तये शङ्करम्। My humble obeisance to Mahasannidhanam Jagadguru Shankaracharya Shri Bharati Tirtha Mahaswamigal. My humble obeisance to Sannidhanam Jagadguru Shankaracharya Shri Vidhishekara Bharati Swamigal. My humble obeisance to Shri Sharadamba of Sringeri. I thank the Sringeri Guru Bandhava team for organizing this series of talks on Durga Chandrakala Stuti composed by Srimad Appaya Dikshitendra. In the previous lecture, we discussed the meanings of shlokas 2 to 6 of Durga Chandrakala Stuti. In this lecture, we will be discussing the meaning of shlokas 7 onwards. And as told earlier, shlokas 2 to 8 of Durga Chandrakala Stuti summarize the narrations of Devi Mahatmyam. The narrations of Devi's glories described in Devi Mahatmyam of Markandeya Puranam. Shloka 7 goes on as follows. Ye vai prachitta punaruthita shumbhamukhyaih durbhiksha ghora samayena cha karitasu avishkritas trijagadhartishu rupabhedaha Tairambika samabhirakshatu mam vipadbhyaha. The anvayam of the shloka goes on as follows. Ye rupabhedaha vaiprachitta punaruthita shumbhamukhyaih danavaih durbhiksha ghorasamayena cha trijagadhartishu karitasu satishu avishkritaha taihi rupabhedaihi ambika mam vipadbhyaha samabhirakshatu. In the Uttamacharitam of Devi Mahatmyam, chapter 11, there is this following shloka. Sarvabadha prashamanam trailokyas yakhileshwari evameva tvaya karyam asmadvairi vinashanam. And starting from this shloka, and there is another shloka which ends tada tadavatir yaham karishyam yari sankshayam. So until this shloka, many different incarnations of Devi have been described. And Dikshitendra says in his Sanskrit commentary on this shloka, Ekadashadhyaye Narayani stotrena stutaya devya punaruthita shumbhanishubha vaiprachitta badhadina lokanugrahartham karishyamanaha nandaraktadanta dyavataraha varnitaha. Ekadashadhyaye, in the 11th chapter of the Devi Mahatmyam, Narayani stotrena stutaya devya, by Devi, who was praised using the Narayani stotram, punaruthita shumbhanishubha vaiprachitta badhadina, by slaying asuras Shumbha and Nishumbha, who emerged once again, by slaying the descendants of demon Viprachitti and others, Lokanugrahartham karishyamanaha, those avatars that will be manifest for the sake of protecting the worlds, And he says, Nanda Raktadanta Dyavataraha Varnitaha. The avatars like Nanda, Raktadanta, Shakambhari and others have been described. Tadartha Sangrahoyam Shlokaha. This shloka summarizes that meaning. And here, the word Punaruthita Shumbha Nishumbha Viprachitta Badhadena, this is very, very important here. So we know from the Devi Mahatmyam that Shumbha and Nishumbha had been slain by Devi. So how is it possible for them to appear once again? So the Shastras tell us that when an Asura gets killed by Bhagavan himself, he gets mukti and there is no rebirth for him. In spite of that, we also hear that certain Asuras, even after being killed by Bhagavan, they appear themselves once again as Asuras. Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, both of them were killed by the hands of Lord Narayana as Varahamurti and Hiranyakashipu Murti. Bhagavan killed both of them. In spite of that, they appeared themselves as Ravana Kumbhakarnau during the Ramavatara and got killed by the Bhagavan. Once again they appeared themselves as Shishupala Dantavaktrau during the Krishnavatara. And we also hear about Kalanemi. Kalanemi was an Asura who was killed by Lord Narayana. In spite of that, he took rebirth as Kamsa and got killed by Lord Krishna once again. For some Asuras, in spite of being killed by Bhagavan himself, they still contain some Shesha karmas, some papa, some sins that remain inside them as Shesha. And to remove all the Shesha karmas from them, Bhagavan appears himself once again, slays them and gives them mukti. In the same way, even after being killed by Devi herself, Shumbha Nishumbha did not get moksha and they appeared themselves once again to be killed by Devi as Nandavatara. Each and every word used by Srimad Appaya Dikshitendra in this shloka, Yevaiprachitta Punaruthita Shumbhamukhyaihi Durbhiksha Ghorasamayena Chakaritasu. Each and every word used by Dikshitendra in this shloka represents a larger body of shlokas from the Uttama Charitam of Devi Mahatmyam chapter 11. And Dikshitendra quotes those shlokas in his commentary under the 8th shloka. He doesn't quote them under the commentary of 7th shloka. So these are the shlokas from Devi Mahatmyam. Shlokas 41 and 42 describe the incarnation of Nanda Devi. Vaivasvaten tare prapte ashtavimshati me yuge Shumbho Nishumbhashchaivanyav utpatsyete mahasurav Nandagopagrihe jata Yashoda garbhasambhava Tatastau nashayishyami Vindhyachala nivasini. Vaivasvatentare prapte Ashtavimshati me yuge. During Vaivasvata Manvantara, when the 28th Chaturyuga comes, Shumbho Nishumbhashchaivanyav utpatsyete mahasurav. The two great demons, Shumbha and Nishumbha, will appear themselves once again. At that time, Nandagopagrihe jata Yashoda garbhasambhava. I will appear myself in the family of Nandagopa, in the womb of Yashoda. Tatastau nashayishyami Vindhyachala nivasini. Thereafter, I shall slay them and make Vindhya Parvata as my residence. The next 3 shlokas describe the incarnation of Raktadanta Devi. Punarapyatiraudrena Rupena Prithivitale Avatirya Hanishyami Vaiprachittanscha Danavan Bhakshayantyascha Tanugrana Vaiprachittan Mahasuran Raktadanta Bhavishyanti Dadimiku Sumopamaha Tato Mam Devatas Varge Martyaloke Chamanavaha Stuvanto Vyaharishyanti Satatam Raktadantikam. Punaha api Atiraudrena Rupena Prithivitale Avatirya. Once again, I shall appear myself on the surface of the earth with a form that is extremely terrific to look, and I shall slay those demons who are the descendants of Viprachitta Mahasura. Viprachittancha Danavan Hanishyami. So the word Viprachitta means descendants of a demon named Viprachitti. Bhakshayantyascha Tanugran Viprachittan Mahasuran. Because of eating those Mahasuras known as Viprachittas, Raktadanta Bhavishyanti. My teeth will appear red in color. Dadimi Kusumopamaha. They will resemble the flowers of pomegranate fruits. Tatomam Devatas Varge Martyaloke Chamanavaha. Thereafter, the Devatas in the Swargaloka and the human beings in the Martyaloka will start celebrating me as Raktadantika, Stuvanto Vyaharishyanti. They will sing my praises and celebrate me as Raktadanta. From the next shloka onwards, the incarnation of Devi as Shatakshi or Shakambhari or Durga Devi has been described. So all of these three are the different names of one and the same avatar. Shatakshi, Shakambhari and Durga Devi. These are the shlokas from the Devi Mahatmyam. Bhuyascha Shatavarshikhyam Anavrishyam Anambhasi Munibhi Samsmrita Bhumau Sambhavishyam Yayonija Tatash Shatena Netranam Nirikshishyam Yaham Munin Kirtayishyanti Manujaha Shatakshimiti Mam Tataha Tatoham Akhilam Lokam Atmadeha Samudbhavaihi Bharishyami Surashakaihi Avrishtav Pranadharakaihi Shakambhariti Vikhyatim Tadayasyam Yaham Bhuvi Tatraivacha Vadhishyami Durgamakhyam Mahasuram Durga Deviti Vikhyatam Tanme Nama Bhavishyati Bhuyashcha Shatavarshikhyam Anavrishyam Anambhasi. Once again, there will be an extreme drought in the world, and it will last for many hundreds of years. Shatavarshikhyam Anavrishyam, there will be no rains at all. Anambhasi, and there will be no water in the earth. There will be complete scarcity of water in the earth. Munibhis samsmrita bhumau. At that time, I will be remembered by the sages. Sambhavishyam yayonija. After being prayed by them, I will appear myself without taking birth in any womb. So the word ayonija means one who does not take birth through any yoni. So he or she is known as Ayonijaha or Ayonija. And Devi says that she is going to appear herself as an Ayonija. Tataha Shatena Netranam Aham Munin Nirikshishyami. Thereafter, I shall cast my glance on the sages with hundreds of eyes of mine. Kirtayishyanti Manujaha Shatakshimiti Mam Tataha. Because of that, the human beings will start praising me as Shatakshi. The word Shatakshi means one who has 100 eyes. Tatoha Makhilam Lokam Atmadeha Samudbhavaihi Bharishyami. Thereafter, I shall sustain the whole world using the waters that will emanate from my body. And she says, Shakaihi Avrishtahe Pranadharakaihi. And the waters which will emanate from the body of Devi, so they will sustain the pranas or the vital force of all living entities in the world. As a result of this, Devi says that she will be remembered as Shakambhari. So the word Shakam means any form of vegetation. The word Shakam literally means vegetables. So all the Sasyalatadis, all the plants that are required for the sustenance of all life forms in the world. So the word Shakam is an Upalakshanam of all that here. So, because she sustains all the shakas in the world, she is known as Shakambhari. Shakambhari iti vikhyatim tadayasyamyaham bhuvi. As a result of that, I will be remembered as Shakambhari in the world. Tatraiva cha vadhishyami durgamakhyam mahasuram. And I shall slay the demon known as Durgama. As a result of that, Durga deveti vikhyatam tanme nama bhavishyati. I will be getting the name Durga Devi because of it. And this incarnation of Shatakshi Devi has not been explained in detail in the Devi Mahatmyam. We find a detailed description of it in chapter 28 of the 7th canto of Devi Mahatmyam. In the conversation between Sri Vyasacharya and Janamejaya, Vyasacharya begins to narrate the advent of Shatakshi Devi. An asura named Durgama, who was the son of demon Ruru and a descendant of Hiranyaksha, performed a severe penance for 1,000 years, meditating on Lord Brahma. At the appearance of Lord Brahma, he prayed to him that the Sannidhyam of all the Veda mantras that are being chanted by the Brahmanas and Devas reside in him. And Brahmadeva gave him the boon he asked for. And as a result of this, the Brahmanas in the world began to forget all the Veda Shakhas, all the Adhyayanam that they had done, so they started forgetting all of it. All of it started disappearing from their memory. And because of this, Snanam, Sandhyavandanam, Nityagni-hotram, Homas, Shraddham, Yajnas and Japas died out from the surface of the earth. When Agnihotram and the Yajnas prescribed in the Shrautam were stopped, the supply of Havirbhaga to the Devas who resided in the Svargaloka, so this Havirbhaga was cut off completely, and the Devas started fleeing from Amaravati. When the Homas stopped, there was no rainfall in the earth, because only when the Brahmanas of the Martyaloka, this earthly planet, only when they perform Agnihotram and all the Yajnas prescribed in the Shrautam, the Havirbhagam to the Devas will reach them. If there is no Havirbhagam to the Devas will not bless the earth with rainfall. And when there is no rainfall at all, it is not possible for all the life forms to exist. And this is what Bhagavan Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Parasparam bhavayantaha shreyah paramavapsyatha. When the Brahmanas of Martyaloka offer Havirbhaga to the Devas, so this Havirbhaga is the food for the Devas. And they will bless the Martyaloka with rainfall and all the Sasyalatadis that are required for sustenance, for the sustenance of life in earth. So such a thing occurred at this time. When all the homas were stopped, there was no rainfall in earth. As a result of this, the plants and trees started dying. Human beings, animals, and all living entities began to die en masse. The Brahmana sages went to the Himalaya Parvata to meditate on Devi. Unpleased with their penance, she manifested herself in a wonderful form which had innumerable eyes. Waters cascaded for 9 days from the innumerable eyes of Devi and began to nourish the earth. The growth of plants and trees began to rise steadily thereafter. She was known as Shatakshi because she had innumerable eyes, and as Shakambhari because she rejuvenated the life of vegetation like vegetables, fruits, pulses and so on. When Durgamasura came to know of Devi's activities on the earth, and he came to know about this through his emissaries, on knowing of it, he marched against Devi with an army containing thousands of Akshauhinis. Before attacking Devi, he first attacked the Devas and the Brahmanas, causing fear in their minds. At this time, Devi manifested a disk of effulgence around them for protection, around the Devas and Brahmanas, and then she began to fight Durgamasura, and forms of innumerable Shaktis like Kalika, Tarini, Bala, and Tripura emerged from her, and all the Devis began to strike against the 1,000 Akshauhinis of Durgamasura. After a long battle with his army, he was finally killed. A Tejas emerged from the slain body of Durgamasura, and it merged into the Deva, body of Devi herself. And this form of Mukti is known as Sayajya Mukti. With the slaying of Durgamasura, peace was restored in the three worlds, and she came to be known as Durga Devi after this pastime of hers. After the Devas offered praise to her, she took the Vedas with their multiple shakhas and gave them back to the Brahmanas and exclaimed that this Veda is an excellent form of mine and it must be protected by you at all cost. And saying this, she blessed the Devas and the Brahmanas and disappeared. So that is why Veda Samrakshanam is very, very important for the Brahmanas. The next two shlokas describe the exploits of Bhima Devi. Punaschahain yada bhimam rupam kritva himachale rakshamsi bhakshayishyami muninam tranakaranat tadamam munayas sarve stoshyantyānamramurtayah Bhima Deveti vikyatam tanme nama bhavishyati. Once again, when I take a very magnificent form in the Himalaya Parvata, Rakshamsi bhakshayishyami, I will eat the asuras for the sake of protecting the sages. Tadamam munayas sarve. As a result of this, the sages will start celebrating me as Bhima Devi, and from then onwards, I shall be known by the name of Bhima Devi in the world. And the next two shlokas describe the avatara of Bhramari Devi. Yadarunakhyas trailokye mahabadham karishyati tadaham Bhramaram rupam kritva sankhyeya shatpadam trailokyasya hitarthaya vadhishyami mahasuram Bhramariti cha mamlokaha tadastoshyanti sarvatah. When a demon named Aruna wreaks a great havoc in the three worlds, I will take the form of a swarm of bees having 6 legs. The word Shatpadam is very, very important here. So the word Shatpadam means any living entity that has got 6 legs is Shatpadam, and slay him for the benefit of the world. Therefore, people will celebrate me as Bhramari. This incarnation of Bhramari Devi has not been explained in detail in the Devi Mahatmyam, and we find a detailed description of it in chapter 13 of the 10th canto of Devi Bhagavatam. In the conversation between Sri Narayana and Narada Maharshi, Bhagavan Narayana begins to narrate the advent of Sri Bhramari Devi. A powerful and terrible demon named Arunasura dwelt in the Patala Loka. He went to the banks of Ganga in the Himalaya to perform a severe type of austerity to become immortal. He was engaged in chanting the Gayatri mantra for 10,000 years, and a fire began blazing from his body, disturbing all the Devas and the entire universe. When the Devas fervently prayed to Lord Brahma to curtail this terrible heat generated by Arunasura, Brahmadeva mounted on his swan immediately and went to see the Asura along with Gayatri Devi. The Asura offered his obeisance to Brahmadeva and Gayatri Devi and prayed not to be killed in the battlefield or by weapons, neither by men nor women, neither by the 2-legged human beings, nor by the 4-legged animals, nor by a living being who is a half man and half animal. This was the boon he received. And on receiving the boon from Brahmadeva, he conquered the Svargaloka, and the Devas had to flee their abode and take shelter elsewhere. And Asharirini Vani instructed the Devas to take shelter of Devi for the destruction of Arunasura, and that he could be defeated only if he is made to give up the incessant chanting of Gayatri mantra. Hearing this, they requested sage Brihaspati to delude Arunasura and make him give up Gayatri mantra. Brihaspati accomplished this task for his disciples successfully. He convinced Arunasura to give up Gayatri mantra. As a result of giving up Gayatri, Arunasura lost his tejas. Long after his giving up of Gayatri, Devi took the form of a bee who was surrounded by innumerable bees of many different species. The bees filled the air with the sound of Hrimkara, the sacred Hrimkara. On seeing her in the form of Brahmari, who neither had 2 legs nor 4 legs, the Devas began to offer prayers to her. Pleased with their devotion, she sent many dense swarms of bees to invade the world. The bees covered the sky, the mountain peaks, forests and trees, and tore the chests of the Asuras, just like infuriated bees attack a person who comes to collect honey from beehive. This massive population of Devi's bees devoured the Asuras in no time. In this way, she put an end to the rule of Arunasura and his followers in the world. And even today, there is a temple devoted to Brahmari Devi in West Bengal. And this Brahmari Devi temple is there in Bodhganj, in Jalpaiguri district. And this is considered as one of the 51 Shakti Peethas. And then the shlokas of Devi Mahatmyam go on as follows. Itthai yada yada badha danavotha bhavishyati tada tadavathiryaaham karishyam yari sankshayam. In this way, whenever there is a disturbance caused by the Danavas, I shall appear myself to put an end to the enemies. With this, the explanation of the 7th shloka is over. And now we move on to the 8th shloka. Suktam yadiyam aravinda bhavadi drishtam avartya devyanupadam surathas samadhihi dvavapyavapatu rabhishtam ananyalabhyam tamadi deva tarunim pranamami devim. The shloka's anvaya goes on as follows. Aravinda bhavadi drishtam devyanupadam yadiyam suktam avartya surathaha samadhihi cha dvau api ananyalabhyam abhishtam avapatuhu tam adideva tarunim devim pranamami. Yadiyam suktam avartya surathaha samadhihi cha dvau api ananyalabhyam abhishtam avapatuhu tam adideva tarunim devim pranamami. Yadiyam suktam avartya, by repeatedly chanting whose hymn, Surathaha samadhihi cha, the Kshatriya named Suratha, the Kshatriya king named Suratha, and the Vaishya merchant named Samadhi, dvau api, both of them obtained, avapatuhu obtained what they had been desiring for. And the word anyalabhyam is very, very important here. Ananyalabhyam means na anyaihi labdhum shakyam ananyam. Something which was not obtained by others was obtained by them. So that is ananyalabhyam. Tam adideva tarunim devim pranamami. I bow down to that Devi who is the consort of the primeval Lord Shiva. And the word ananyalabhyam is very, very important here. And it means the king Suratha, he worshipped Devi, and by the blessings of Devi, he could defeat his enemies in war, and get back his kingdom in his present life. And this was possible for him with the blessings of Devi in that particular janma of his. in his future Janma, by the blessings of Devi, he took birth as the son of Surya Bhagavan, and he came to be known as Savarnimanu. And the Vaishya named Samadhi got Nirvishesha Jnanam as the blessings of Devi. And what kind of Suktam was this? And Dikshitendra says in his shloka, this is Aravinda Bhavadi Drishtam. This Suktam or Stuti was seen by Lord Brahma. Aravinda Bhava is Lord Brahma. And then he says it is Devyanupadam. The word Devi appears repeatedly in this Suktam or in this Stotram. As a result of it, it is described as Devyanupadam. And Dikshitendra quotes the shloka in his Sanskrit commentary. Namo Devyai Mahadevyai Shivayai Satatam Namaha. This shloka appears in the 5th chapter, Uttama Charitram of Devi Mahatmyam. And he says, Ityadikam Shumbhanishubha Badharthibhihi Brahmadibhih Kritam Stotram Devi Suktam. This stotra that was done by Brahmadi Devas who prayed for the slaying of Shumbhanishubhasuras, this is known as Devi Suktam. Tat Brahmadibhir Drishtam. It was seen by Brahma and others. Tat Japantau Suratha Samadhinamanav Rajavaishyau Swasankalpitam Phalamavapatuhu iti Trayodashadhyayarthaha Sangrihitaha. Tat Japantau Suratha Samadhinamanav Rajavaishyau. The king and Vaishya named Suratha and Samadhi chanted this stotram that was seen by Brahmadeva and others. And what was this stotram? It is Namo Devyai Mahadevyai Shivayai Satatam Namaha Namah Prakrityai Bhadrayai Niyataf Pranatasmatam Raudrayai Namo Nityayai Gauryai Dhatriyai Namo Namaha Jyotsnayai Chendurupinyai Sukhayai Satatam Namaha Kalyanyai Pranatamridhyai Siddhyai Kurmo Namo Namaha Nairityai Bhubhritam Lakshmiyai Sharvanyai Te Namo Namaha. And then it keeps going on. Yadevi Sarvabhuteshu Vishnumayeti Shabdita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. Yadevi Sarvabhuteshu Chetanetyabhidhiyate Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. And it ends with Chitirupena Yakritsnam Etadvyapya Sthita Jagat Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. So, the Raja and Vaishya, Suratha and Samadhi, obtained the phalam which they had been yearning for. Swasankalpita means something that they had been longing for. And this was achieved by them with the blessings of Devi. And this Vrittanta that has been described in the 13th chapter, the phalaprapti of Suratha and Samadhi, so this has been described in the 13th chapter of the Devi Mahatmyam. And the meaning of that has been summarized here. Trayodashadhyayarthaha sangrihitaha. Says Dikshitendra. Tatra Devi Suktam Param Japanna ityatra Devi Suktam iha anupadam tabhyam shrutam Namo Devyadikam eva vivakshitam buddhisannihitatvat. Says Dikshitendra in his commentary. And then he says, Tadevam Saptabhishlokaih krite Devi Mahatmya Sangrahe Satam Asamshayartham Pancharatra Lakshmi Tantra Vachanena Pradarshyante. Saptabhihi Shlokaih krite Devi Mahatmya Sangrahe. So he says that these 7 shlokas of his Durga Chandrakala Stuti summarize the teachings of Devi Mahatmyam. So the word Saptabhihi Shlokai means shlokas 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So we will exclude the first shloka, the Mangalacharana shloka, shlokas 2 to 8. So in these 7 shlokas, the contents of the Devi Mahatmyam has been summarized. Saptabhi shlokaih krite Devi Mahatmya Sangrahe Satam Asamshayartham. To remove the doubts of all sajjanas or the devotees, Pancharatra Lakshmi Tantra Vachanani Padarashyante. The passages of Pancharatra Lakshmi Tantram are being quoted here, and saying this, Dikshitendra goes on to quote an ancient Vaishnava text known as Pancharatra Lakshmi Tantram, and these texts are studied by those Vaishnavas who study the Pancharatra Agamas. This is a very, very important text in the Pancharatra Agamas, and the contents of Devi Mahatmyam and other Puranas, so the same contents have been described here also. Devi's slaying of Mahishasura, her slaying of Shumbha Asuras. So all that has been described once again in this Pancharatra text as well. And after quoting innumerable shlokas, then he goes on to quote the Devi Mahatmya shlokas to explain the 7th shloka. So in this way, this portion of the commentary on 8th shloka goes on to explain shlokas 2 to 7. So that is how the commentary on this shloka has been written by Dikshitendra here. With this, the 8th shloka is over, and we shall move on to the 9th and 10th shlokas. Dikshitendra introduces the 9th and 10th shlokas in his Sanskrit commentary as follows. Atha Varaha Puranokta Mahimanam Sangranhati. The word Atha in Dikshitendra's commentary is used in the sense of Anantaryam. So it means the next 2 shlokas summarize the glories of Devi described in the Varaha Puranam. The 9th shloka goes on as follows. Mahishmati tanubhavam cha rurum cha hantum avishkritair nijarasad avatara bhedaihi ashtadashahata navahata koti sankhyaihi amba sada samabhirakshatu mam vipadbhyaha. The shloka's anvayam goes on as follows. Mahishmati tanubhavam cha rurum cha hantum nijarasat avishkritaihi ashtadashahata navahata koti sankhyaihi avatara bhedaihi amba sada mam vipadbhyaha samabhirakshatu. Dikshitendra says in his commentary, Evam Varaha Purane Katha. This is how the story has been described in the Varaha Puranam. In the commentary on the 9th shloka, he summarizes the contents of selected chapters of the Varaha Puranam instead of quoting the shlokas from it. In the 10th shloka's commentary, he quotes shlokas from the Varaha Puranam. Whereas in the commentary on the 9th shloka, he never quotes any shloka from Varaha Puranam. All the kathas here in the Varaha Puranam are a conversation between Lord Varaha and Bhumi Devi. Says Dikshitendra in his commentary, Kadachit Kailasa Girau Pinakinyasthanamastitavati Chaturmukhas Samagatya Daityabadham Tasmai Nivedayamasa Tada Narayanopi Samagatah Tesham Anyonyam Pashyatam Drishti Samagame Kachana Kanya Jagne Satesham Vachanat Swagunair Vibhakta Trisharira Babhuva. This portion of Srimad Appaya Dikshitendra's commentary summarizes shlokas 5 to 36 of chapter 90 of the Varaha Purana. Kadachit Kailasagirau Pinakini Asthanam Asthitavati Sati Chaturmukhaha Samagatya Daityabadham Tasmai Nivedayamasa. Once upon a time, when Pinaki, Lord Shiva, accepted Mount Kailasa as his place of residence, Lord Brahma arrived there and narrated the trouble caused by the Daityas. Tada Narayanopi Samagatah. At that time, Lord Narayana also came there. Tesham Anyonyam Pashyatam Drishti Samagame Kachana Kanya Jagnye. A certain Kanya was born as they looked at each other, and their gazes came into contact with each other. Satesham Vachanat swagunaihi vibhakta trisharira babhuva. As per their words, that is, as per the words of Lord Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, she divided herself into three separate forms based on the three gunas. Satviki Devi was derived from Lord Brahma, Rajasi Devi was derived from Lord Vishnu, and Tamasi Devi from Lord Shiva. Dikshitendra says in his commentary that Satviki Devi is the Srishti Shakti of Lord Brahma, Rajasi Devi is the Palana Shakti of Lord Vishnu, and Tamasi Devi is the Samhara Shakti of Lord Shiva. The words Nijarasat Avishkritaihi Avatara Bhedaihi used in this shloka and this portion of his Sanskrit commentary that gives the purport to it summarize the following shlokas of the Varaha Puranam. Chapter 90. Kailasa Shikhare Ramye Nana Dhatu Vichitrite Vasatyanudinam Devaha Shulapanis Trilochanaha. In the resplendent peak of Mount Kailasa, which is replete with many kinds of minerals, resides the three-eyed Lord Shiva. Saikasmin divase devaha sarvabhuta namaskritaha ganaif parivruto gaurya mahanasit pinakadhruk. Once, this god, who was bowed to by all living entities, was in the company of Parvati Devi and was surrounded by the Bhutaganas. Tatra simhamukhah kechit gananardanti simhavat apare hastivaktrascha hayavaktras tathapare. Some of the Shivaganas were lion-faced and were roaring like lions. Others were elephant-faced and horse-faced. Apare shimshumarasyaha, apare sukarananaha, apare shvamukharaudraha, kharasyajananaas tatha, chagamatsyananah kruraha, hyanantash shastrapanayah. Others had faces resembling the faces of dolphins, pigs, donkeys, goats, sheep and fishes. They looked terrific and had weapons in their hands. Kechit gayanti nrityanti, dhavanti sphotayanti cha, hasanti kilakilyante garjanti cha mahabalaha. Some were singing, some dancing, some were running and some were jumping. The mighty ones were laughing, clapping hands and roaring. Kechil loshtanshtu samgrahya yuyudhur gananayakaha apare mallayuddhena yuyudhur baladarpitaha evam ganasahasrena vritodevo maheshwaraha. Some leaders of the Ganas threw stones at each other, and some of them engaged in single combat with each other. In this way, Lord Maheshwara was surrounded by thousands of Shivaganas. When the Lord was enjoying with Parvati Devi and the Shivaganas in Kailasa, he was approached by Lord Brahma, who was accompanied by all the Devas. Brahmovacha. Lord Brahma spoke as follows: Astyandhako mahadaityaha tena sarve divaukasaha ardita matsamipam tu buddhvamam sharanaishinaha. There is a great Daitya named Andhaka. Being tormented by him, all the residents of the Svargaloka have approached me with the intent of seeking refuge. Tataschaite maya sarve prokta deva bhavam prati gacchama iti devesha tatastvete samagataha. I then told them that let all of us, the Devas, go to Lord Shiva, and that is why we are here now. Evamuktva svayam brahma viksham chakre pinakinam narayanam cha manasa sasmara parameshwaram tato narayano devaha dvabhyam madhye vyavasthitaha. After saying this, Lord Brahma had a look at Pinaki. He then meditated on the Supreme Lord Narayana within his mind, and the Lord appeared himself in the middle of the two of them. That is, in between Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, Lord Narayana appeared himself. Tatastveki gatastetu Brahma Vishnu Maheshwaraha parasparam sukshma drishtya viksham chakrur mudayutaha. Lords Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara came together and stared at each other intensely with great joy. Tatastesham tridha drishtihi bhutvaika samajayata tasyam drishyam samutpanna kumari divyarupini. The three separate gazes of the three lords joined together into one, and a virgin girl with a beautiful form was born as a result of it. Neelotpala dalashyama Neela kunchitamurdhaja sunasasu lalatanta subaktra supratishthita tvashtra yadagnijihvamtu lakshanam paribhashitam tatsarvam ekatas samstham kanyayam sampradrishyate. She resembled the color of the petals of blue lotus. Her hairs were dark and curly. She had shapely nose and forehead, and her face was pleasant. All the Sharira Lakshanas described by Lord Tvashta, the celestial architect, could be seen very clearly in her. Athatam divyakanyam tu Brahma Vishnu Maheshwaraha Uchuh kasi shubhe bruhi kim va karyam vipaschitam. On seeing that divine Kanya, Lords Brahma Vishnu Maheshwaras asked her who she was and what she wanted to do. Trivarna cha kumari sa Krishna shukla cha pitika uvacha bhavatam drushtahe yogat jatasmi sattamaha kimmam navetha sushronim swashaktim parameshwarim. That tricolored girl had three distinct complexions, black, white and yellow. She replied to them, O great gods, I was born as a result of the joining of your gazes. How do you fail to recognize me, the supreme goddess who governs your individual potencies? Tato brahmadayaste cha tasyas tushta varam daduhu namnasi trikala devi pahi vishwam cha sarvada. Then Lord Brahma and others were pleased with her and gave her a boon, saying, You are goddess Trikala by name, and you should protect the universe at all times. Murtitrayam tribhirvarnaihi kurudevi swakam drutam evamukta tadadevaihi akarot trividham tanum sitam raktam tatha krishnam trimurtitvam jagamaha. Assume three different forms with your three distinct colors. As per the words of the gods, she divided herself into three separate forms. One form was white, another red, and the third black. In this way, she had three distinct forms. Yasa Brahmi Shubhamurti Taya Srijati Vai Prajaha Saumyarupenu Sushroni Brahmasrushtya Vidhanatah. The auspicious Murti that was derived from Lord Brahma creates all living entities as per his directions and has a pleasant form. Yasa Raktena Varnena Surupa Tanumadhyama Shankhachakradhara Devi Vaishnavi Sakala Smrita Sapati Sakalam Vishwam Vishnumayeti Kirtyate. The red-colored Murti that was derived from Lord Vishnu holds Shankham and Chakram in hand, and she is known as Vaishnavi. She protects the whole world and is praised as Vishnumaya. Yasa Krishnena Varnena Raudri Murtis Trishulini Damshtra Karalini Devi Sasam Harati Vai Jagat. The black-colored Murti that was derived from Lord Shiva held a trident in hand and had a terrific face. She is known as Raudri and destroys the world. After saying this, Dikshitendra describes the Brahmi Kala of Trikala Devi in his commentary as follows. Tatra Satviki Brahmanaha Srishti Shakti Sa Tachariram Pravishta Tada Prabhriti Tadiya Srishtihi Vavrudha. This portion of Srimad Appayi Dikshitendra's commentary summarizes shlokas 37 to 48 of chapter 90 and all the 16 shlokas of chapter 91 of the Varaha Purana. Tatra Satviki Brahmana Srishti Shakti. Among them, Satviki Devi is the ability of Lord Brahma to create. Sa tachariram pravishta. She entered into his body. Tada prabhriti tadiya srishtirvavradha. From then onwards, her creation began to grow. This portion of Dikshitendra's Sanskrit commentary that gives the purport to the 9th shloka summarizes the following shlokas of the Varaha Purana. Athakalena mahata prajasrashtum prajapatihi arabdhavan tadatasya vavrudhe srijatobalam. Lord Brahma began to create living beings and his ability to create started growing. Yadana vavrudhe tasya brahmano manasi praja tadadadhyau kimetan me na tatha vardhate praja. When his mind-born creation did not grow, he started thinking about how his prajas did not grow. Tato brahma hridadadhyau yogabhyaseno subrate chintayan bubudhe devah tam kanyam shvetaparvate tapascharantim sumahat tapasa dagdhakilbisham. When Brahma thus meditated with his yogic powers, he perceived the virgin goddess performing severe penance in the mountain known as Shveta. On seeing her, Brahma began to speak as follows. Brahmovacha kim tapah kriyate bhadre karyamavekshya shobhate tushtosmi te vishalakshi varam kim te dadamyaham. O auspicious one, what penance is being performed by you? What is the result you are expecting? O large-eyed one, I am pleased with your penance, and what boon shall I give you? Srishti Ruvacha. Goddess Srishti began to speak. Bhagavan ekadeshastha notsahe sthatu manjasa atortham tvam varanyache sarvagatvam abhipsati. O Lord, I remain confined to one place and I don't wish to remain here. Because of this, I ask you to grant me a boon by which I shall be present everywhere. Evamuktas tadadevya srishtya brahma prajapati uvachatam tadadevim sarvagatvam bhavishyasi. On being requested by goddess Srishti, Lord Brahma Prajapati told her that she would be present everywhere. Evamukta tadatena srishtissa kamalekshana tasya hyanke layam prapta sa devi padmalochana tasmadarabhya kalattu brahmihi srishtir vyavardhata. On being told this, the lotus-eyed goddess Srishti dissolved herself into the body of Lord Brahma, and from then onwards, the Manasi Srishti, the mental creation of Lord Brahma, began to grow. Brahmano manasas sapta teshamanye tapodhanaha teshamanye tatastvanye chaturdha bhuta sangraha sasthanu jangamanam cha srishti sarvatra samsthita. The 7 austere mind-born sons of Lord Brahma were born. From them, the others were born, and the fourfold creation began to grow with all Sthavaram and Jangama beings. In this way, Srishti Devi was established in all places. Yatkinchid dvangmayan loke bhavet sthavara jangamam tatsarvam sthapitam srishtya bhutam bhavyam cha sarvada. Anything related to speech, anything and everything that is movable and immovable was established by Srishti Devi. The past and future were also created by her. And here ends the 90th chapter of the Varaha Puranam, and the 91st chapter begins. Lord Varaha describes the glories of goddess Brahmi to Bhumi Devi. Shri Varaha Uvacha Shrinuchanyam Vararohe Tasya Devya Mahavidhim Yasa Trishaktiruddishta Shivena Parameshthina. O elegant woman, hear the tale of the great exploit of Devi, who was made into 3 Shaktis by Lord Shiva. Tatra Srishtif Puraprokta Shvetavarnas Varupini Ekakshareti Vikhyata Sarvaksharamayī Shubha. the auspicious goddess of creation, has been described as having a white complexion and is described as Ekakshara and Sarvakshara, Vagisheti Samakhyata, Kvachit Devi Saraswati, Saiva Vidyeshwari Devi, Saiva Kvapyamitakshara, Saiva Jnananidhi Kvapi, Saiva Devi Vibhavari. She is also known as Vagisha or the controller of speech, and sometimes as Saraswati, Vidyeshwari and Amitakshara. She is the Jnananidhi, the ocean of Jnana, and Vibhavari, the goddess of night. Yani Saumyani Namani, Yani Jnanodbhavani cha, Tani Tasya Vishalakshi, Drashtavyani Varanane. All names that are pleasant to hear and are related to Jnana pertain to her. And with this, 1/5 of the commentary on the 9th shloka of Durga Chandrakala Stuti gets over, and we shall study the remaining 4/5 of the commentary on it in the next lecture. The exploits of Vaishnavi and Raudri Devis has been discussed by Srimad Appaya Dikshitendra in the remaining portions of his commentary. And with this, I conclude this lecture. Hara Namah Parvati Pataye.